The main thing that I noticed about this machine was when I first got on it, some people say to me, well, the plate seems kind of small. Yeah, that's true. The plate is definitely smaller than some of the other plates that I've been on, and sometimes by several inches. But let's back up a second. What's the therapeutic effect of a machine all about? It's about acceleration. Okay, acceleration and G-force. So when you have a much larger plate, what that does is potentially bog down the motor more. The motor has to work that much harder. It needs that much more to move that huge plate, you know, up and down and up and down, especially if somebody is standing on the total outermost edges of a larger plate. Now, is there a benefit to having a smaller plate? Sure. Now, if this person is 6 foot something, okay, 6 foot something, yeah, I mean, for sure, their stance is going to be a little bit naturally wider, and this machine, you know, may be a little bit of a challenge. You know, they can still be on the machine, but, you know, I would say that in general, people who are super tall and have, you know, challenges in life with a variety of things. So, by having a smaller plate size, what I noticed was the acceleration of it felt way, way more intense. The speed setting goes up to 99. For the Zaaz, it's all about speed settings, but they do also give you the hertz, which is nice. Not all companies do that. They just tell you the speed settings, but they actually do. In the manual, there's a 15K Zaaz, there's a 20K. That's what 80–90% of consumers end up getting. They do have a little bit more powerful models. Although most people are pretty much completely satisfied with what you can do with this machine. So by having a smaller plate size, they're able to, they don't have to use, it doesn't bog down the engine as much, the motor. You can get a much faster acceleration, leading to more G-force, something that you can actually really feel. So I must say that this one, and you can almost just tell by the way my body shakes, how much more intense it is when I have some of these other machines on at full blast. And then I do generally use it on the full width with the Zaaz machine. That's my personal preference. And so I'm just going to give you like a little example here. It's the smoothness of it is also something you can tell a lot about a machine. Is literally the up and down motion. Is it like almost like a smooth sine type of wave? It kind of reminds me, actually, it shocked me when I learned that it was just belt driven. The smoothness of this reminds me very much of how a shaft-driven tuned machine feels. And also, like a shaft as well, it starts very slowly, so that's kind of nice too. If you have some balance issues, it's not going to start, you know, all the way at 6 hertz already, and you're having to hold on. It's a pretty smooth transition, but the smoothness again is actually very helpful. So when you go to higher speeds, you don't feel like you really have to hold on. If you notice, I can use this machine, I'm going to show you in a second, without any of the handlebars even installed. Of course, there are handlebars that come with it, but here at the lab, the Vibe Lab, we don't actually always put on the bars for all the tests. But I'm going to use this all the way to 99 speed setting and ramp it up, and you'll notice actually how easy it is to balance on, and that's a lot because of how the mechanics are tuned. It's a very, very smooth ride. So here we go, ramping up. I just hit the speed button here on the machine. Proper posture, leaning back on my heels. Usually when I use this machine, I go barefoot, which translates a lot more G-force through the body. But just again, I'm just walking around the dirty floor here, so I'm using shoes. I'm ramping up now to 50, going up to 60 speed settings. Getting up there. Alright, it's slowly ramping up. The other thing that you'll notice is that it slowly ramps up in acceleration. Some machines just jump you up really fast. That actually can stress out the belt, and that's why, a good reason, especially if you weigh 150 pounds plus, why you can kind of basically overwork a belt and need to replace parts. A well-tuned machine will actually slowly climb in acceleration. And you can tell a lot, again, how it's engineered. They built this thing to last for a while, and that's why, again, it has a slow acceleration speed. You don't want to overstress the machine by shooting up to 10 hertz real fast. So I've actually had this at the full blast, by the way. I was on my toes. Here I am on my heels now. No hands. Easy. I can be totally balanced. I really don't even need handlebars. It's just a very, very, very smooth ride. Very easy machine to go on. So I'll actually do this on different machines. It's just a no handlebar test, and I just test my coordination. Some machines are actually pretty challenging to stand on, and I definitely feel like I need to hold on. So I've just told you a few different things about the machine. The other little tip, by the way, is I am using this on a concrete floor. They do have plastic legs on the bottom. Most machines have rubber legs, but what I always recommend, regardless of the machine that you get, it's just generally you get a little bit better performance, less sound by putting on a yoga mat. So just get yourself a really, really cheap yoga mat from Walmart or wherever, Target, and just put that under the machine. It's going to make it even quieter. That's the other thing, because it is tuned so well to be a smooth motion. And if you notice, all the vibration mainly comes through the plate. It doesn't really come through the machine at all. There's no real resonance with the actual frame at all, another good sign. You don't even really need to dampen anything with the rubber mat, but in general I always say do use that. It has plastic legs if you have wood floors, that type of thing, just in case. Don't want to scratch up floors or anything like that. Just put on a cheap yoga mat, fold the yoga mat in half. That's another little tip. But if you noticed, again, I had no handlebars. The reason I don't do that is because I like to see how much the machine back here shakes and the control panel without the bars. And if you notice, the back actually hardly really moves, even without the handlebars to stabilize it. So that's another little test to see how well this machine translates actual acceleration G-force through the plate, or versus shaking the whole frame around it like some machines do. So if you have any questions about this machine, shoot me an email, give me a call, I'll be happy to help.